Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica and Swati M.H.
You got that right.
You did. She did. I love it. I think Mandy, for I tell you, she's a school teacher. She teaches, little ones. But phonics is her friend. But I try to tell her all the time that phonics doesn't work with names all the time. So
that's true. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
But she did great with that one.
Awesome. She did a good job.
Yeah. I did practice, but go me.
All day long at school today, right?
Maybe. Kids were like, what is wrong with her today?
Why does she keep saying that word? Oh my God.
What does it mean?
Yeah. What is that? Is that going to be on our spelling test?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be funny.
That would be funny. Yes. Yeah. Giving the definition would be interesting, but yeah, that would be funny.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for those people who may not know, what types of books do you write, and do you have somewhere that you recommend people start?
Yeah. So I write steamy contemporary romance. Usually it's actually always been interracial romance, multicultural romance. My tagline is humor, heart, and heartbreak, because I think all of my books contain a lot of those aspects, those elements of humor, heart, and definitely a little bit of heartbreak. But there's another H, which is an HEA. All my books have an HEA. And your question was, where can they find the books?
Where to start? Like, if somebody's new to reading you, where would be a good book to start with you?
Yeah, I would say my Elements of Rapture series is where I tell people to start, because I feel like that is where I felt like the most established as a writer. And I knew sort of all of those characters are so incredibly special to me. So my Elements of Rapture series is where I tell people to start. The first book, Adrift, is one of my favorite books to have written. It's a forbidden romance, and it's a forbidden romance because he is her late sister's husband.
Yeah.
So
that's the one that I read. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. That's where I started. So that was good. Mandy, which one did you read? The fourth one or the third one?
I read Abyss.
No, I have the third
Abyss. That's the fourth one.
Yeah. Okay. Because I have the third one. I started it yesterday and I just haven't finished it yet. So
yeah. Abyss is the fourth one. Abyss is, and honestly, you can read them out of order. I've had several readers. I actually try to ask readers to read it out of order, just so they can, I know that they still have context of everything. So yeah, Abyss is my last one. It's the enemies. It's my last of that series. It's an enemies to lovers workplace romance. It's also forbidden because he is her best friend's dad. And it's a 20-year age gap. So he's 46.
Now everyone knows why I grabbed it.
Exactly. For the age gap. Yes. Yep. 100%.
Yeah, I love a good age gap. And that entire series is an age gap forced proximity. So I would say Ablaze doesn't really have a forced proximity. It's a close proximity, but all of them are sort of this angsty, lots of chemistry type of tropes. But Ablaze is probably my slowest burn. So if you like a really slow burn, it doesn't. But when it heats up,
Plus
a lot.
Ablaze is the third one, right? Is that the one that I just started? Isn't he a firefighter or something? So that makes up for not having the close proximity or the forced proximity.
Yes, 100%. He is a firefighter. Yes. She bakes dog cookies.
What more could you want?
Yeah.
So how many books do you have published right now?
So I'm about to publish my 12th one on May 1st. So yeah. The next book is called Pitch for Me, and it's coming out. It's my next series, which after Elements of Rapture, called Haircuts and Heartthrobs. And it is a pure rom-com. if you're looking to just giggle and laugh, I would say Haircuts and Heartthrobs.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm excited for your new one. So
Yeah.
I was looking at that when you sent it to me, I was really excited.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was good.
The one right before Pitch for Me is Pretend for Me. And again, you can always read these out of order. So yeah.
And just because we have a lot of people that listen to audio, I know some of them are on audio. Are all of your books up till now, up to the new one on audio?
No. So I have Mother Pucker on audio along with the other Momcoms. I have my Elements of Rapture on audio. I have Pretend for Me on audio, and I will have the rest of this new series, Haircuts and Heartthrobs, on audio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for those who want to know, but
yeah.
We also know that audio is not that easy, and it's a process, and it's expensive. So
it's expensive, and it takes a while. It's one of those things where, especially for the older series, like getting those in audio just takes a bit. Yeah.
Well, and we have a couple narrator friends that we talk to. One of them was at the event in February, and he'll tell me, most of the time he can't say, but he was saying one that he was working on, and I kind of figured it out, and it's still not out yet. So we know that it's a process. It's quite the process.
It's a big production process. It's editing, all of those things. So
it takes a while. So, and that's once you get on their schedule.
Exactly.
And then you have a book coming out on audio really soon, right?
Yeah, I have Abyss coming out on audio next week. Yeah.
Okay.
I have that on pre-order. So yes.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it. Erin Shedlock and Simone Lewis, they are just so good. And I feel like Erin, this specific book, Abyss, I feel like he captured Hudson so well. I mean, that grumpiness and that tone just comes out, and you're just like, oh, this was made for him. Yeah.
He's a good one. We like Erin Shedlock around here.
He is not Erin Shedlock. It's not, but he is very grumpy. Like,
in the book?
Yes. When you were calling it enemies to lovers, I was thinking like grumpy
sunshine. Yes, he is so grumpy, but she tears him down. She whittles and whittles. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it when they're grumpy.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that first few chapters, I remember readers messaging me being like, oh my God, he's not nice. I was like, no, but he'll get there. I promise.
Yep.
Yeah, he's borderline kind of mean.
He is. He's mean to her at the beginning when he fires her. I mean, this is part of the description, so it's not even, I'm not giving anything away, but like the way he fires her, and he's just like, I want nothing to do with you. I mean, and you're like feeling so bad for her. But then he
reflects on that though, but he kind of still gives himself a pass because she, is it okay if I say that part?
Oh, totally.
She is trying to pop the champagne bottle, and the cork flies off and hits him right in the head.
That sounds like something I would do.
I mean, and she, poor thing, she was checking him out, and she was so like love struck, and then and
and then I'd be wondering why my husband was so mad at me all night long, like
and then and that's when he fires her from the restaurant, and lo and behold, she has to get another job because she just got fired from the restaurant, and she goes and talks to her best friend, and her best friend's like, oh, I've got, or they kind of speak about it, and they figure out that her best friend's dad needs an admin. And so she walks into her job. And who is the boss? Oh, well, it's him again. And the minute he sees her, he's like, nope.
I love it. Yeah, I'm anxious for that audio to come out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good.
You're gonna love it, Jessica.
Oh yeah,
so good.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
I kind of want to listen to it just to hear that scene unfold.
It's just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you have I know this is always a really tough question, but do you have a favorite book you've written or a favorite character?
It's a really tough question. God, I would say Ablaze is probably my most favorite book. And the reason I love Ablaze is because I love slow burn romances. I love the angst. I love the buildup. So I would say Ablaze is probably my favorite book, but it's such a close call because I also love Pretend for Me, because Pretend for Me was my first true rom-com, and the characters in it were just really close to my heart. They're just unhinged, especially Piper, who is the female main character. She is just unhinged. She says whatever that comes to her mind. She doesn't hold back. She has 3 hairless cats. One is named Vijay, one is named Snatch, and one is named Beaver. So if you could understand her personality.
Is that in your Momcom? Is that the Momcom one?
That's the spinoff from the Momcom.
Okay, it's a spinoff from the Momcoms. That's awesome. I love an unhinged, say whatever they want.
She's
character.
ridiculous. I mean, one of my readers just messaged me like literally 10 minutes before I got on this interview. And she was like, I'm reading Pretend for Me, and I cannot believe Piper's cat just jumped on the MMC's lap, and Piper says, that's my hairless pussy, and it seems like she really likes you. And and he's just like, he's this broody, grumpy billionaire who's all about like the sophistication and the, yeah. And he's just like,
what? It's awesome. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, that's Piper. Yeah.
Okay. That's perfect. I love them when they're crazy like that. Yeah.
So she was just like, I cannot believe she would say that. And I was like, oh, she says a lot more.
Sounds a little like me, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever comes out. We're good.
That's it.
Yep, exactly.
So I think we probably already covered this, but the next question was just like, can you share anything that you're currently working on or any upcoming projects? So is there anything else that we didn't touch on that's coming up for you?
So on May 1st, I'll be publishing Pitch for Me, which is a baseball romance. It's both single parents, so single dad, single mom, which I'm really excited about. And then after that is I'm starting to work on the 3rd book in the series, which is called Pine for Me. And that's going to be a second chance at marriage. And that will wrap up that series.
Okay.
And do you expect that out this year or no idea yet?
No, I'm hoping and praying it's going to be out this year. Yeah, it's going to be out there. I'd like to finish off the series this year.
Okay. Perfect.
So how did you end up becoming a romance writer?
I honestly had no idea I was going to be one. There was no plan. It was, I mean, really, there's never any plan for me, but, I mean, on a daily basis, but, I have no idea. I kind of just like float in the wind and, I'm like, okay, let's see what I'm going to do. So it was around 2020, the world was shut down, and, my kids were at home, like many people's kids, and I decided to quit my corporate job and stay home with the kids because it was a lot.
It was chaos.
As most people understand. And so during that time, I started dabbling in writing this story that had been in my head. And I'd been reading romance for a little bit at that point. And I had the story of something that happened to me personally, and I wanted to write it down. And it was, just to give everybody a brief synopsis, it was, I myself was 16, and I was on my way to India with my mom to go visit family. And I'm of Indian descent. So we were going to go visit my family, and it was like 28-hour flight, something crazy.
Oh my gosh.
It was nuts. And so I was on the flight, and my mom falls asleep, and there's this incredibly handsome man sitting right next to me. He was probably about 24. he had no interest in me. I mean, I was 16, right?
Right.
Like but I was like convinced I was going to marry him. I was making up all sorts of fantasies in my head. I was going to marry this man. And I just struck up a conversation. I don't know, something about food, something. And we just ended up talking, and he's just telling me about like he went to college and he had graduated, and now he's on his way to India to go meet up with a bunch of buddies to go tour and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, so cute. So ridiculous. Anyway, nothing happened. We went our separate ways, said bye. And I mean, I think my mom woke up like once and was like, who are you talking to? And then she went back to sleep.
You're like, go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep, Ma.
I'm having a really great conversation.
Yes.
And
planning my future.
I know. I'm trying to get married here, Mom.
Exactly. We've all been there. I laugh because we've all been there. So yes. Yes.
Right. And the guy has like no interest, right? But I'm like, oh.
Picturing your future children in your head. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. That's exactly what was happening. Anyway, so nothing happened. So I was just like thinking about the romance, like what would I write in an alternate universe, like a totally different life, totally different thing. By the way, I'm very happily married. Very, very happily married. I told my husband about it when I was going to start writing it. And he's one of the most encouraging men. And he was just like, you should write it. Like you should write this thing and see where it goes. Right. And I was like, I think I might. And so I started dabbling in it, and I wrote this book called Kismet in the Sky, which is about a girl who's 16 on her way to India, meets exact same story, meets a man, falls in love on an airplane with him, and he could care less. And he basically 8 years go by, she doesn't see him, and now she's 24 and he's 32. And she needs a job, and she walks into an office and for her interview, and she gets the job, and she walks in on her first day of the job and finds out that her boss is that guy. And he doesn't remember her, like no recollection. But she, of course, hasn't forgotten him. Yeah. She's been dreaming about him for 8 years. So, so that's how it started. So that's where my author journey sort of began. And I wrote that book. And, I don't know if you guys know Melanie Harlow. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Her and I had been sort of chatting on email, and I was she's such a wonderful person. And so I had just messaged her saying, I have no idea how to do this. What do I do? Blah, 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 and I don't even know if it's even that good. And so she's like, I'll read a chapter, send me one chapter. And so I sent her a chapter, and she's like, no, I think this has legs. Like you should do it. So she provided me with that encouragement. And then I ended up publishing it. And surprisingly, I had told my husband that if even 5 people read it, 5 people, if they read it, I would be happy, and it would be a box checked off on my bucket list, and that would be great. And I had no idea it would grow legs, and I would be in 12 books.
And here you are. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really
awesome.
cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just came out of nowhere. So like I said, I have no plans, no nothing. It just sort of like happens. I'm trying to get out of the sun here.
But I also think it's something that a lot of us can relate to, because we've all had those moments, and then it's the what if, and then just that's all it took. Like that's all it took to write, which is awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Love that.
So where did the idea for the Momcoms come from?
Actually, the Momcoms was Brittany and Daphne's brainchild. They called me up. I guess they had sort of been talking about it, and they called me up saying, we have this idea, and we think you'd be a really good fit as like one of the authors, and we want to write like a 4-book series. And I really liked the idea. I was like, sure, it sort of at that point I was finishing up another book, and it was going to change up my plans a little bit, but not dramatically. And I was like, sure, why not? Let's do this project and see if it works out. And so I was not the person with the idea. The only thing I wanted to do was I wanted to do a reverse age gap, and I wanted to do a hockey romance. I'd never written a sports romance before, and that was something that I wanted to do. So I said, I think and then we sort of talked about the different women, and we talked about, these 4 friends, but we wanted them to have very different personalities so that they could be distinct. And they all have their own burdens and traumas, and they all have their own sort of personalities in terms of how they mom, how they parent. And we sort of talked about like what my female character was going to be like. She's not like me at all, actually. It's so funny because people would ask me like, is Shayla like you? And I said, I don't think so. I'm not, because Shay is a very protective mom. She gets really, really scared of, she has her son in this bubble, and she lost her husband to cancer. And so she has this like feeling of, if I don't have him, what will I have? Like there's nobody else left for me. So she protects him with everything, which is a really it's an understandable, quality. And so but she kind of, in order to create these characters, we have to kind of elevate that, those things. So yeah, she's kind of a little neurotic when it comes to taking care of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And everybody else. She's crazy about her smoothies and her disgusting smoothies. She makes everybody drink.
No.
But she believes that, hey, if you drink them and you're healthy, then you'll stick around. So that's the way she is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm one of those moms where it's throw them in the deep end and see if they float kind of a thing. Like, just, you guys have got this, right? Go figure your stuff out.
Yeah.
I'm kind of one of those chaotic moms. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Time to grow up.
There's days where I'm like, I don't know what's for dinner. We're going to just figure it out. We're going to just figure it out. Yeah.
We're in the middle of that right now. Everybody called me before I got home to do this.
Yes.
What's for dinner? I'm like, no.
I don't know. We're going to figure it out. Yeah. There's times where we've got some people eating leftovers and some people eating like a salad and some people eating something totally different. So
yeah, my kids can't seem to figure out, and granted, they're teenagers now. They can't seem to figure out that there's just days when I don't want to cook for you.
I have the same thing. I have 2 teenagers, and I'm like, you guys can figure this out. I promise. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we did during COVID. We actually pulled ours out of school and homeschooled them for a few years. Now they're back. Yeah. Well, one of them graduated, but, and we got the meals where you could have them delivered to your house, right? Where you make them the whatever, the Hello Fresh or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, y'all are going to learn how to cook.
You can do this.
And so that's what they did. That was part of their school stuff. I was like, here you go. Learn how to cook. So I know they can all cook, but they don't want to.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm like,
well you know what? Neither does mom.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. So.
So what do you like to do in your free time?
I love to read. I'm an avid reader. I love to read. I love audiobooks. Recently, I've gotten into audiobooks. I was not an audiobook person, I would say, up until 2 years ago. And then now I feel like I have a reason to do housework because audiobook. It's like doing 2 things at once.
Exactly.
So I love audiobooks and reading. I love watching TV. I love traveling. And TV, like with my husband, or like shows that I pick up on my own and I just binge watch. Yeah. And then it's like my way of disconnecting with all my work and just like kind of letting go. It just helps me actually figure out a lot of things in my life when I just like binge watch a show and then all of a sudden I have all this clarity. And I love to travel. So yeah. And I love to cook actually. As much as I complain about cooking, I do like to cook. I just don't like to cook on a timeline. Like I just want to cook when I want to cook and
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean,
And
you saying
not
cook that just
every single
every
day.
day. And then when you ask them, what do you want? Nobody can tell you what you want, but whatever
Yeah.
you make is not going to be what they want.
Exactly. Or if you give them the option of like, okay, well, what about like pasta today? Oh, but we had pasta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Every single time. And you talking about food, it just dawned on me I have to go shopping for Easter and I'm going to have to cook for Easter dinner and I don't
Oh, I'm
want
so sorry. We're celebrating my daughter's 16th birthday this Saturday.
uh-huh.
And she's really easy though in general. So I was asking her, I was like, 16th birthday, it's kind of a big deal. We've been trying to plan it for a while. And she's like, no, I just want pizza and bubble tea and with all my friends. And that's what I want to do. Pizza,
Yeah.
bubble tea, and cake. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That's easy.
That's very easy. I know because
I was like, we can cater. I could make something. We could do all these things. And she's like, no, we all
That's
like
easy.
pizza.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine is turning 18 here at the beginning of May. And she's like, so I want to have all my friends and we want to go on a camping trip by ourselves out. And I was like, no. And then
Yeah.
she's like, oh, I want to take a trip here. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no,
No.
you're going to Belize for your graduation. Stop. So she's my high maintenance child.
I have one of those. I have
Yes.
one of those. I'm worried about when she turns 16. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm already worried. Mhm.
Yep. She'll be like, I want a ball. I want the whole shebang.
Yeah, exactly. Can we go to Paris? With all my
Exactly.
friends?
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sounds like what mine would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have any favorite authors or a favorite book?
I have lots of favorite authors. I've already mentioned Melanie.
Mhm.
I have so many. Let's see. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking right
Because
now?
we put you on the spot. That's
Yeah.
why.
I'm blanking out. I know all these authors that I love to read. I love Megan Quinn. I love her humor. I love Jennifer Hartman. She's one of my good friends, and there's not a single book she has written that I have not devoured and loved with all my heart. So Jennifer's books. Let's see. Yeah, I love Danielle Laurie's Mafia series. I love Mafia romance.
Mhm.
It's like,
It's
a good
everything.
so good, so good.
Yeah.
And her Maid series is probably one of my favorite series to read. I actually reread it through audio just recently. And then what's my favorite book? Oh my God, that is really hard. I would say Archer's Voice is one of my
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
very, very favorites.
Yeah.
Again, because it has this perfect mix of angst and the slower burn and
Mhm.
the sweetest cinnamon roll hero you could think of. So Archer's Voice. And I don't know if you guys have heard of Ella May's, her book, Marriage for One, is
Mhm.
probably one of my most favorite books. I love a marriage of convenience / arranged marriage trope. It's so, so good.
Yeah, I tried it a few years ago. It was when I first, it was in 2020. It was been a long time ago. And I couldn't get into it at the time, and it was probably my mood. Like I know I just need to re-listen to it or reread it. I only got a few chapters in.
I think actually that's interesting you said that, because I think it's one of those books that, like, I think it was around the 8th chapter, 9th chapter that I was like, oh, this book is gonna be good. You know, up until that, there's a lot of world building and like lots of things happening, and then you kind of just get into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it turned out to be one of my most favorite books. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I need to give it another try. I just didn't get that far. And at the time I was really like, when I first started reading romance, like reading actual romance books and not like fan fiction kind of situation, I dove right into dark stuff. So I was in a dark mood. So that's probably why it didn't work too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I also love LJ Shen's books. Like she just, I mean, every and especially the one she does with Parker S. Huntington.
Okay. Yes.
Like, what's it called?
What is that? Man, you know that one?
I have it right here. My Dark Romeo, My Dark Desire, and My Dark Prince.
Okay, I think I've done the Romeo one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that series is really great.
Yeah. I do like her what was her arranged marriage one? The guy's
Oh,
name was Wolf.
yes. Oh my God, it's one of my favorites.
I know, and I have it over here somewhere.
It's What is Wrong with Me? Oh, The Kiss Thief.
Thank you. I know it. I do, but
It's one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just blanked on that. I just
yeah.
love it.
And
Yeah.
have you read was it not Graves? It was the one with the three. It was a brother. It was two guys and whatever that one's called.
Yes.
Was it Graves?
Oh.
Wasn't it? No.
You're
can't
turning
remember
this
the name,
into
but
like book Jeopardy, Jessica.
It is. It is.
I mean,
It's
all
something
of
that-
her books are just so
They're
good.
good.
She
I like
writes
how
banter really well, and like
Yeah.
the plots are really tight. Just and they're paced really well.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. I like hers.
Do you foresee that you might do you ever see yourself writing a mafia?
Oh my
romance?
gosh. I had this feeling you were going to ask me that. One of my friends, I don't know if you've read Rin Share before.
We love Rin. We've read
Yes.
Mandy's read almost all of hers. I've read like 2 or 3. We love her. She's already done an interview and everything.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rin and I consider her one of my besties. So she'll have to tell you if I'm considered one of her besties. But she's
I'm
one
gonna
of my
message
besties.
her and ask.
You have to call her and just be like, "Hey, are you Swasti's bestie?" Yes. Put her on the
We'll
spot.
see her in July.
In Vancouver. Yeah, I'll be there too.
Yay!
Oh,
okay.
yay.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing your name on the list. How did I miss
Well, that list is very long and it's easy to miss some names.
It's a very long list. Yeah. I'll be there as well. And so Rin and I had just messaged me one time saying, we should write a mafia, because she knows how much I love mafia romance. And and when you asked me, I kind of just remembered Rin asking me, would I write it? I don't know that I could do it justice, because there's just so much world building, and mafia readers, you can't mess up on the hierarchy. No. When I'm reading it, I'm not so invested in like the Don and the capo and the blah 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 blah. Like to me, it's just leaders, and I don't really. And so for me, when I'm reading it, I love that somebody else has done the research and it's done for me,
And they know what they're talking. You just trust that they know what they're talking about.
Writing it would stress me out, because I would be like, I don't know if this is right or wrong. Would they even do this? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't.
And how do you even research that in general? It's not like you can call up your local
infiltrate the
mafia member.
I mean, I'd probably have the police at my door,
Probably because of your Google searches. FBI
Why are you researching this?
Yes.
So that's one thing. And then I think I think one common theme between my books, and I know, Mandy, you might disagree with me because you just read Abyss and you're going to be like, no, that's not true. But the common theme in my books is that all my book heroes, all my MMCs end up being cinnamon roll heroes at the core. Like they are truly devoted to their females. But aside from Hudson, maybe I'll put an asterisk on him. Aside from Hudson, I would say all of them are really sweet men. And so writing a mafia man would be probably difficult.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably why Hudson was hard for me to write, because I had to really go into this like headspace of somebody who is pretty cut dry, pretty grumpy,
He has reasons though. Like he has some good reasons to be as bitter as he is.
Yeah, he does. He does. Except he takes them out on her, which was hard for me to write, because you're just like, why are you being an asshole?
Why are you so mean?
Yes.
Why are you being such a jerk? But then he realizes he was being a jerk, and he does grovel. Oh, I loved writing the grovel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he does do cinnamon roll type hero things, but almost a little begrudgingly at times.
Mhm. Like when he's taking care of her, he's just like, oh, like, why did you get hurt in the first place? You're just like, okay.
Or he's a little dishonest about what's really like, he doesn't want to always take credit. So he's kind of a little dishonest about what's happening
Yeah.
to some
He's
degree.
like, yeah, he kind of hides his feelings a lot. He
Yes.
hides like
You're
why
going to
he's
love him,
doing-
Jessica.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't wait. I love him grumpy and mean. I'm reading
Yeah.
a mafia book right now, and he's full of hate towards the
Yeah.
heroine, and it's where I'm at
It's the
60%.
best.
It hasn't changed. I love it when they're mean.
The best. I
Yep.
mean, but I did have a hard time writing him, but it is
Yeah.
the best because you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then when they slowly turn and they realize
Mhm.
what's happening,
Mhm.
it's the
Then
best.
it's like, oh,
I
yes.
know.
Yep.
He loves her.
He really does. He stopped chasing her in the woods and threatening to kill her. He loves her.
He loves her.
Yeah. It doesn't take much at that point. We're starved for affection. Just
Right?
like the heroine.
Whereas
Yeah.
with the cinnamon roll hero, you kind of know he's gonna love her.
Yeah,
of course,
exactly.
because she's gonna love him. And it's
Exactly.
just, why wouldn't you? But with the grumpy hero, you're always worried. You're like, when's he gonna get there? Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. You just never know.
Mhm.
Yep.
So you told us about one author signing that you'll be at. Are there any more that you're going to be at?
Yeah, I am going to AGA, the reader signing called AGA in Indianapolis. I don't know if you guys have heard of that or been to it. It's one of the best signings I've been to. I went to it not last year, but the year before. And
Taking notes.
yeah, it's in Indianapolis. It's such a great signing. And I decided to go to it again. And Rin's going to come too. So yeah.
Yay.
She actually ends up telling me which signings I have to go to. So
Yeah, that sounds like Mandy. Mandy tells me which ones I have to go to too.
Yeah, she'll like message me and she's like, you're going to this. And I'm like, oh, am I? Okay, I guess I am.
All right.
Well, how come you didn't have her come to Phoenix?
I know. I don't understand why she wasn't there. I don't remember what happened with her. Maybe it was a scheduling thing. I don't remember.
Maybe it was because it was Valentine's Day.
Could have been. Yeah. I don't remember. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Mandy mentioned that, and I was like, after all these years, it's just another day. So
right. I know. There's so many people who are like, oh, it's Valentine's Day. But it was a huge signing and there's a lot of people there. So
yes.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So those are the two then? Those two?
Those two. Oh, I have one more. It's called, because of course it's called this, Love and Tech in San Francisco.
Oh,
Love and Tech.
Because
Okay.
Love and Tech.
Yeah, San Francisco, yeah.
It's a Silicon Valley book festival, but I don't know that they've had it before. It's the first time, but it's right in my backyard. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Are you gonna go back to Phoenix next year?
Huh?
Are you going back to Phoenix next year?
I don't know that I was invited, so I don't think so.
I think they're still adding people.
Are they? Yeah. I don't think so yet. I don't think I signed up for that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see you in Vancouver.
At BB4E.
Yeah, it takes
sure.
me like half an hour at the most to get there, I think.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. How awesome is that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're still going to stay at the hotel and whatever because it's an excuse to stay. But
of course.
Mandy's
we don't have to deal with going back and forth across the border because you can get stuck there for a while.
Yeah. I'm going to have my husband with me this time. So he's going to be my PA. So
yay!
We're going to just make a little vacation out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Are you going to drive all the way up?
No, we were going to, but then with the kids and everything, it's just like hard to take that much time off. So we're just going to fly up and it's just easier, I think. I wish we were driving because then the taking of the books would have been easier for me.
Yes.
But I think I'm going to have to ship them. So
yeah. Yeah, I was talking with another author that's having to deal with that. So
I'm scared. I'm like, I don't know. I might just ship them to Rin. Who knows? So
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
That's easier. Yeah, this one author is in Australia and having to ship them here, and it was a little panicky. So we figured it out.
Okay. I might figure out. It's one of those things I like, I can't do all of it all at once. So I like put it off. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's for my future self to deal with when I have the bandwidth,
Yes.
and then
Yep.
my future self ends up regretting it because all of a sudden the time's there now. And I'm like, I should have done this. Yeah.
That kind of sounds like us with pre-orders because we have 2 events before Vancouver. And so right now, like all I can focus on is the next event. But if I don't pre-order before I get up there, then we're in trouble. So,
I know.
yeah, because a lot of people are starting to close their pre-orders.
I like procrastinate and it's like, I always regret it, but then it's just it's an ongoing cycle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a problem. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to share? Or anything we didn't ask you?
not that I can think of.
Okay, and so one more time for everybody, your book that's coming out on May 1st, what is it titled?
It's called Pitch for Me.
Okay.
And I'll show you the book right before that. Actually, I have it here. Let me just. And the book before that is called Pretend for Me. There's a man cover on it too. And he's beautiful. But and so the next book after that is called Pitch for Me, which is coming out May 1st. So.
Perfect. Yeah, because I remember reading, is it Abyss? Abyss is the first one in the what's the first one? Adrift. And I was like, it's a pretty cover. And then when I read that he was Persian, I was like, oh yes.
It's such and I love like writing the multicultural aspects and learning about it and doing all that research and kind of understanding why, I love developing those characters and that aspect of it. So
yeah. So the Pretend for Me, is that pretend marriage?
Yeah. So it's a fake engagement.
Okay.
So it's a fake engagement. The synopsis of that one is she is Piper. Piper is my crazy. Remember we talked about this. She's my unhinged FMC, and with the 3 cats, and she owns a salon called Haircuts and Heartthrobs with her 2 best friends. Each of those best friends has a book. So Pitch for Me is one of her best friends.
Okay.
And so she owns a salon, and it's a salon for the rich and mighty men. It's a men's salon. It's a very catered to billionaires and millionaires, very like sleek place. And so Abyss is where she was introduced. Actually, Hudson goes to her. Hudson from Abyss, it has her as his barber, as his hairdresser. And so he tells that Dave is the male character. So Dave is the guy that he tells about. And by the way, Mandy, you might remember Hudson is actually sitting with his friend Dave in the very first scene when the champagne bottle opens. He's sitting with a friend. And that friend is actually Dave. So Dave is the MMC for Pretend for Me. So he is a billionaire, and he walks into her salon asking, because his friend Hudson has like said so much about the salon. So he walks in, and she doesn't realize that she's taken some new medication that morning, some meds that have made her a little loopy. So she's doing his hair, and he's super broody, super grumpy, not making very much conversation, but she thinks he's pretty hot, but he's, whatever. He's kind of grumpy. So maybe he's not her type. Well, lo and behold, while she's doing his hair, she takes what are those things called? The shears.
Oh, the shear. Oh, the clippers.
The clippers.
Yes.
So she takes the clippers, and he had just told her to do a little bit of his sideburns, and she whoop, takes it all off. And he looks crazy. And he's about to go into a board meeting, and he is pissed. Like he's like, I will sue you. This is crazy. Like, I cannot believe this. You run this establishment. Like, he's so upset. And he sees the 3 hairless cats and he's like, I don't even understand this place. Like, I can't even believe my friend Hudson told me to come here. You know, what is this? Anyway, so as he's running out of the salon, she says to him, I'll do anything. I'll do anything to make up for it. Like, please just like calm down. I'm so sorry. I was taking these meds and I didn't realize like drowsiness was an effect of it, blah, blah, blah. He's like, whatever, I'm never coming back. Well, his mother actually has a terminal illness, which is, let me put an asterisk on that because I'm going to come back to that. But she has terminal cancer. And one of the things that she's asked him is that she just wants to, she said, you know, I know you can't give this to me, but if I had one wish, it would be to see you get married. But I know you can't give that to me. So that's totally fine. You know, I'm just telling you, it's just a wish. And he thinks about it and he realizes Piper said she'd do anything to make up for it. Mm-hmm. So he goes back to the salon and says, you know, well, you did say you'd do anything for me. So,
so here you go.
And she says, well, what are you looking for? And he goes, I'm looking for a bride. So that's how the chapter ends. So, you know, it's a fake engagement, kind of a facade for his mom type of thing, where they're supposed to pretend to be in love in front of his mother just to make her happy. And maybe they'll even go through the marriage if mom's still around. And once they're married, they'll get a divorce. Simple.
Yeah, why not?
Simple, you know, but it's never simple because they fall in love. So it was so fun to write.
Yeah. Mandy loves a good fake engagement, fake relationship situation.
I do. They're some of my favorites.
Yeah. And the reason I had put an asterisk on the terminal illness thing is that this was my foray into pure rom-com. I would say Mother Pucker was definitely rom-com, but this was more unhinged, more just anything goes type of rom-com. And that's what I thought I was writing. I thought I was writing a book that would just make everybody giggle, and people loved it because there was group chats of all the guys from my Elements of Rapture series, including Hudson, including Darian, are in this book and group chats. So they're always talking to Deb, and it's the most hilarious group chats. They're ridiculous. They talk about the cats a lot. And it's just really funny. But the number of videos I received from readers on that one scene where his mom passes, it was like every single person was crying. And I was like, it was supposed to be a rom-com, but everybody ended up crying towards the end because the premise is that she is terminal. So
yeah.
So you have to have the trigger warnings there. So just in case. Yeah.
Because it's probably heart-wrenching. It sounds like
it's heart-wrenching because you fall in love with her. Yeah.
I love group chats in books.
Yes.
They've become one of my favorites. And if I'm remembering correctly, doesn't Dave laugh pretty hard at Hudson when he gets hit in the head with the cork?
Yes, he does. He was cracking up. He was like, I mean, you and then he's also at Hudson's daughter's wedding as well. And so he is in there in the book, but he's not like a prominent character. He's like the side character. And I just decided Piper and him, it was going to be them.
Okay. I love it.
I can't wait to read that now.
Yeah.
And the group chats are in this next book too. The group chats are just going to, I think they were one of the ones that everybody told me I just needed to continue to write.
Yeah. They're fun to read. I like group chats like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the best way for readers to connect with you?
I love connecting through Instagram. I'm always in my DMs. So that's great. I am always on my Facebook reader group called Swati Sweeties on Facebook. So always active on that. My newsletter, people will respond back to my newsletter, and we'll keep an email chat going. So yeah, I have multiple avenues that you can get, in touch with me.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun, and I can't wait to see you guys in Vancouver.
I know, same.
Yes.
I'm
It's
excited
going to be
for
so much fun.
that. It's
It
going
will
to be a lot
be.
of fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of authors, so I'm a little nervous, but we're going to have to prioritize what authors you
Yeah.
want to see.
I
So,
hope you come see me. I know there's a lot of
definitely.
definitely come see you. Yes, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll see all of our favorites. So yeah, we'll be there.
Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
I
So
can't wait.
I know. It'll be here before we know it.
Oh my God, don't remind me. I'm scared. I got so much to do. I have so much to do. I'm like, no.
Yes, I know.
Wait a little.
I know. All right, well, let me wrap this up and then we'll chat for a second. So thanks everybody for being here. Thank you, Swati, for being here. And we
Thank
will see you guys in the next video.
Yay.
Yay.